three, two, that's four, one. Welcome back to Travel on the Rocks. I am Lee.
I'm
I'm
Alicia.
Katie.
Oh crap! Let's fix this crap. Do it again. Okay, Alicia's going first, and then Katie. All right,
Okay.
here we go. Here we go. Five, four, three, two, one. Welcome back to Travel on the Rocks, the podcast where we love to travel, but we don't know what we want to talk about. I'm Lee.
I'm Alicia.
I'm Katie.
And today we are going to be talking about travels for 2024. We're going to play a little game with y'all, and then we're going to kind of highlight local destinations that are kind of near us because we're all over the United States. And so, yeah, I'm super excited. Have y'all had a great week this past week in general?
It's been pretty good.
Yeah, so far so good. I go back to work tomorrow, so I'm a little bummed
Oh,
by that,
awesome.
but almost 2 weeks off, so it's been kind of nice.
It goes
Yeah,
by
I think
fast.
It
this
does.
is the first vacation I think I've had in like 3 years where I wasn't working on a vacation.
Oh, wow. So you really got to kind of like just take it all in and sleep in and do those types of things.
Yes, I have been sleeping in like every single day. It's been glorious.
Oh,
Oh,
that's
man.
amazing.
I know it's probably hard to sleep because when like our group chats go on, it's either me and Alicia like late in the evening for you, or it's me and Katie early in the morning for Alicia.
Yeah.
And Lee was just up 24/7, so
Yeah, I just don't sleep. I'm up before Jesus and I'm down before he recovers. So that's how that works. But yeah, so pretty much I want to go ahead and start off with places we want to travel in 2024. So Alicia, where do you want to go and where do you already have planned going?
Okay, so I'll start with what I already have planned just because that's easier. My kid, she graduates this year. Very excited about that. I can't believe I have an 18-year-old and that's going to be graduating in June, but here we are. So for her senior trip, she told us, thank God it was a couple of years ago, she told us because we've been saving money for it, is she wanted to go see the Olympics in Paris. So we have booked a 3-week vacation from Paris to Nice to Normandy to some of the chateaus in Paris. We're just going to go all over France. And so I'm very, very, very excited about this. And we've got tickets to 3 different events. So
So what are the
so
events that you
excited.
have tickets for and what is your favorite event at the Olympics? And is this
Okay,
summer or winter?
it's Summer Olympics. So we're
Okay.
going to be there mid to late July to the very beginning of August. We have tickets for soccer, but it's one of the early group stages, so we might be cheering on Zimbabwe and Kenya. Who knows? Like it wasn't specified in on who was playing in this group, so we'll see. Um, we have tickets for gymnastics, which that one I'm really excited about just because it's gymnastics. And then we have tickets to go see a sailing event, which I also am very excited about because I love anything that has to do with the ocean and on the water. But from where we have a standing platform, I don't know. I just don't know what I don't know as far as how we're going to be able to see and view. I'm going to pack some binoculars just in case, but I'm really excited. I'm so excited. And then of course we're going to do Disneyland Paris. There's a few days in there that we've chopped in for
Oh.
Disneyland Paris. I am so
So
nice.
excited.
correct me if I'm wrong. Disneyland Paris or is it Tokyo that has the Frozen like setup?
I,
I
isn't that
think
Tokyo? Well, now I'm going to
Tokyo?
look. I thought it was Tokyo. I thought it was
Dang
Tokyo.
me. Making us
I
all
should
look bad here.
I know I should have already looked that thing up before I asked just as a pop quiz question. But I know
I
one
think
of the
it's
parks got like that
Tokyo.
is it Avondale? Is that the name of the city? Avondale?
Okay,
Yes.
there is
Arendelle. Sorry, Arendelle. But
Arendelle. Avondale. I don't know what
yes.
that's an exit where I live. I don't know what the heck I'm talking about.
But I think it's Tokyo. It is. It's
it,
Tokyo.
it must be at both because there's a Frozen at Disneyland Paris too.
Okay, cool.
So maybe that's
Oh,
why
and
we're
then
here.
it's well, and also there is an Arendelle World of Frozen at Hong Kong Disneyland.
Mm.
So look at
See,
there.
I'm pretty jealous that they get a little bit more of those in-depth parks because I think they also
Yeah.
just got Zootopia, and I think
Ooh.
Disney World when they revamp Animal Kingdom, they'll be doing something with Zootopia in the Dino Land
Yeah.
area. But
Yeah.
it really does kind of tick me off that they get like that cool setup over there.
Well, I
Yeah.
can't wait to tell you guys all about Disneyland Paris. I'm going to be taking video and pictures, and if we can do some kind of streaming or something, I'm not sure what that's going to look like, but I
Oh,
can't wait.
the time difference is going to be crazy over there.
It's going to be amazing. And we got the club access room, so maybe I can just find a little sweet spot in the little club access spaces at 2 in the morning or whatever time it's going to be when we have to do this, and
Yeah.
I
Club
can let you
access,
guys
they
know.
should give you like the Ethernet cable to hook up, so you should get really good Wi-Fi in there. Uh, but the Olympics, that's really cool because you get to see it there, and I don't know if you'll still be in California whenever the Olympics come
Yeah.
here, but if you're here in Texas, the Olympics are supposed to be coming all over here, so I'm super excited about
Yeah.
that.
I'm so excited. Well, I've always wanted to do an Olympics, just go see the Olympics. And I had the opportunity in 1996 when I was in Atlanta. One of my good friends at the time, he invited me, and I was pretty dumb at that point, and I was dating somebody else. So I thought that would kind of look bad if I went to the Olympics with another guy. And I was like, no, I guess I can't. I just hit myself every day for not going.
Oh man, I did the same
I
thing.
don't
In
know.
'96, I was really mad that I didn't give this one girl a purple crown in pre-K. Um, I'm just playing. I wasn't trying to call you old or nothing. I'm just
Oh, no,
saying.
not at all.
I don't know if you guys did this, but during the Olympics in Atlanta, I would watch the gymnastics all the time and like pretend like I knew how to do the gymnastics routines, and I would do them in my living room and compare myself to the people on the TV because we didn't actually go there. We went to like the where the Olympics were held, but we didn't get to watch any of them. So
Hmm.
we just watched everything on TV, and I sat there and did
So,
front
which
flips in my living
event
room
did you
the whole
do?
time.
Wait, did I freeze on that one? I don't know what happened. Okay,
No,
anyway. But which event did you do? Did you do a floor exercise? Did you do like the horse thing? Did you do the rings? What were you trying to do in your living room?
All of them. The definitely did the floor exercise, and we had like monkey bar type things in the backyard, and so like we would pretend like we were doing the horse things on the monkey bars. So
oh, that's so cute.
Oh
Oh, that's
but
too
man,
cute.
in my head I got a gold medal, so
If
that's funny.
only we had video of stuff like that
I
from back
know.
in the day, like we do. Like we have so much technology access at our fingertips now. I wish that sometimes I wish we had that back then. But but then I did see something funny about how thank God that we didn't because of all the things that we did do.
Yes,
Oh
yes.
man, like I would have been canceled like 15, 20 years ago, like when I came out of the womb. Like it would have been bad.
So
But
I was 10 years old during the 96 Olympics. How old were you, Lee?
I was 4.
Oh, you were
Oh
4.
gosh.
Okay.
Oh, oh boy.
Yeah.
Well, like I said,
I'm
I
a
was
90s
dating
baby. I
someone.
have like an 80 and I have an 80s and 70s soul, but I'm a 90s baby.
Well, this is good because we have like a nice range, and Lee can be our translator to Gen Z as well, because I'm sure we'll need that at
Exactly.
some
I'm
point.
I'm I'm the hip
Yeah.
to the hop to the hibbity hop hop, all that stuff. Yeah.
More reason of why you're our
Oh,
pearl. So,
Yes, exactly. I'm always lit, as the kids say now. So Katie, where are you traveling 2024? Or what do you already have planned?
so we kind of already mentioned some of the plans in the previous episodes, but one thing that I'm trying to plan right now is some trips to just meet people I haven't seen in a few years and hang out with some old friends. So a few years ago, we stayed at this little town, Wallala in California, and it's like right when the redwoods start along the coast. And one of my friends lives like a little above Wallala, so I would really like to go visit her and then maybe do like a combo Disneyland trip. And if Alicia's there at the same time, maybe I can go see her too and make like a little road trip out of it.
Yay!
So California is on the list, but I haven't picked out dates yet. And then also working on a trip to Tonopah, which I think I mentioned to you guys last time.
Makes sense. Trying to figure out. So you are originally from like southern, like Atlanta area, like you're
Mhm.
originally from there, and then you started migrating up
Born
north.
and raised. Georgia Peach. Yeah, I grew up in Marietta, and then I lived in Florida for about 6 years, and then traveled the country for 3 years, and now I'm here in the Northeast.
Okay, cool. So you're probably just our more well-seasoned, like just traveler in general.
Maybe, I don't know. How many places have you been to?
I've been up I-35 and back. That's as far as I go. Like it's just it's up in Texas and then we're done. But again, you gotta keep in mind in Texas, 8-9 hours up that freeway, you're still in Texas. Like if I went up
Yeah.
to where you're at, I would already hit Virginia and Maine and everything all up in that same trip. Um,
Yeah,
Alicia, with the military, do you move around more with the military, or were you already traveling before then?
So a funny story, actually, my mom, she worked for Delta pretty much since Jesus walked the earth. I mean, she was at Delta forever. And so I have been traveling because of her benefits and stuff with Delta since I can remember. I mean, it used to be when we would fly, we had to dress up and we couldn't get on the airplane if we didn't have a dress on, pantyhose, closed-toed shoes. Like it was legit. So I'm very, very fortunate because of mom and because of her work with Delta that I was able to travel a lot even as a kid. But because of the military, that's why I have seen a lot of Japan. I've seen Greece. I've seen some places in Europe. I've lived in Nebraska, so I've traveled the Midwest a little bit, lived in Florida, and now here in California. So it's been pretty sweet. I want to say it's a mix of both.
So Nebraska is so I'll transition into where I'm
It's
going.
cold.
Yeah, it's definitely all over the place temperature, but Nebraska is really cool because a lot of people don't realize that even though there's nothing but like cornfields or whatever, you're really close to the Dakotas. Like you're not that far away from like Colorado or anything like that. And so for people, that's what I'm gonna do this year. I do have family that lives in Lincoln and
Oh, cool.
Omaha. And so we're gonna go visit them, but during that time period, I am gonna take like a road trip to a lot of other places in that area because I can just hit them all within an hour or so. Um, so I'm excited about that. We do have our trips. We have our trip planned in Florida, but I am going back for another personal one with my own family. And then I'm also gonna head up towards Minnesota and Chicago this year. So I'm excited about that.
So fun.
Yeah.
nice.
That's gonna be so fun. What are you gonna
Yeah.
do in Minnesota? What are you gonna
So I have a family member who works for the railroad company BNSF, and so he they kind of relocated up there. They kind of move around every 2 years, so they're up there now. And I'm like, you know what? That'll be the only time I really want to go to Minnesota, because I'm not watching the football team. I
Yep.
want to go see the Mall of America, and so I was like,
Mhm.
I can go get that done. But then we have military friends that live in Chicago, so I'm like, cool. We'll kind of like hop and skip over there as well. So kind of knocking out, piggybacking off Katie. I want to see people since they live in these areas, because other than that, I'm really not gonna go. Like I don't have any other like urge or wanting to go to these other different
Yeah.
states. But now that I have friends that are living in different states, I'm like, okay, this is my time to go use their house as a hotel for a few days, save some money,
Mhm.
and then try to get the status match, at all my La Quintas and Motel Sixes.
I was gonna say, yes, you should absolutely go to the Mall of America just to see it, if anything. But even though I lived in Nebraska, what was really cool to see in Minnesota and Minneapolis was all the sky bridges because of how
Mhm.
cold it gets there. I didn't even know that was a thing, that it is like its own network of connecting the city with these sky bridges because it is so cold up there. So, or it can be in the winter. But it's beautiful. I've seen it in the summertime too, so it's gorgeous.
So
That's
sky
exciting.
bridge as in like walking or driving?
No, like walking, so they're like connected to different places and stuff. So you don't
So
have to
it's
walk in the cold.
like a mix master freeway thing, but for your feet.
Yes.
That's crazy because down here in Texas, we just have freeways everywhere. I'm pretty positive they're building an exit to go right to my house. Like there's so many freeways. It is ridiculous. And I hear people, because Texas being a state where we're getting a lot of people from California, Chicago, New York, Pennsylvania, even moving over here. They're so flipped out about our roadway systems over here. Um,
Yeah.
Everything you have to do wherever you live in Texas is a drive. Like no matter what, like you're 30,
Yeah.
45 minutes from a Walmart, even if you live within the city. Um, and so a lot of people freak out when they come over here because they're like, why would I need to go to a theme park when I could just jump on the freeway? It's a roller coaster in itself.
That's funny.
At least on a roller coaster, you're actually moving.
Well,
Yes.
that is true. Like you're kind of stuck. But hey, you're in the standby line to get on the roller coaster.
Hey,
That makes sense. You gotta wait either way.
there you
And
go.
so before we continue on, what are y'all drinking today?
Vodka soda for me.
I am back to my red wine, Boda box, and cider because it is freaking cold today.
Okay, good. Because like in the summer and spring, we need to get you a glass. I'm tired of seeing you with mugs. We need to get
Yeah.
you a
I
glass.
know. So the next episode, okay, for, I know we said we weren't going to talk about holidays, but uh, for one of my Christmas presents, I got a really nice bottle of gin, and I was going to make a gin drink today, but because this was kind of like an impromptu recording, I just decided to do my wine. But next episode, I will make a gin drink so you guys can see it, and it will be very pretty. And I will tell you all about the mysterious gin drink then.
Ooh,
Cool.
can't wait.
I
I'm
want to
so
hear about.
excited.
Yeah, I also want to hear about you have specific alcohol or liquor that is like haunted.
Yes, supposedly.
Ooh.
And yeah, well, I don't know. We'll have to delve into that one day, but that liquor is all gone. The bottle the bottle is still intact, and I, between myself, some friends, and my husband, there is no more haunted liquor, and none of us got haunted, so I don't think the actual liquor was haunted.
It was just the hangover. That's the haunting part.
But if anybody is interested in that kind of thing, Harridan's Vodka, it's a boutique vodka shop, and they usually place their vodka in a location that is haunted, and they let it sit there for a certain amount of time, so it kind of like imbues that haunting energy with their liquor. And it's a total gimmick. I'm 100% aware of that. But because my other social media stuff has to do with like dark tourism and haunt tourism, people eat that kind of stuff up. So, or drink
And
it up,
now,
I
is
should
it
say.
spelled like boutique? Like how's it spelled?
It's Harridan, Harridan.
I didn't care about that
Harridan.
part. I just wanted the boutique part. I just wanted to hear that was spelled with two O's. And then, so I am drinking amaretto and Coke, but it is the Coke pretty much just went away. Like I'm positive I poured some Coke in here, but it's gone.
It's Amaroke.
Yeah,
It
it's
is
Amaroke.
Amaroke.
Yeah, it's gonna make me have a stroke in a minute. That shit's strong. But um,
That
so
cracks me up.
talking about our drinks now, I want to just play a quick little game before we get back to our topics. And so this little segment is going to be a little twist on two truths and a lie with
Okay.
drinking. So now that we're at the beginning of our drinks before they get empty, I figured it'd be the best time to play this game. So, who would like to go first? The point of the game is you got to tell two truths or three truths. We do whatever you want to do, but one lie, and then we have to guess that lie. If we are wrong, we drink. Who wants to go first?
I need a second to think about mine.
Okay, y'all think I'll go first. I'll be the
Okay.
victim here. All right,
I'm
Okay.
gonna
we're gonna
write
get
mine down while you're doing.
yeah, y'all figure out on your notes or whatever you're gonna do. All right. Hope you know these are probably all gonna be lies, but we'll figure this out. All right. So, two truths and a lie. Here we go. Let me get ready. I personally dyed my hair red. That's one.
Okay.
Yes.
In the last 5 years, I have owned 12 cars. That's two. I am a quarter white. That's three.
Ooh.
These are hard. You picked like some very generic ones that could totally be true. But they also don't tell us shit about you, really. So
I'm gonna say the lie is you have personally dyed your hair red.
Okay, so that's Alicia's guess. What is your Katie?
I um I freaking don't know. I want to say the quarter white one because you're always making Spanish jokes. But then that could be like a little trick.
Like
And I want
I'm
to
not
say
enough Mexican, so I try to have to make more Mexican things like that.
yeah.
Okay.
And then I want to say the 12 cars or however many, but you also showed us pictures of your ranch and there were a ton of vehicles on that. So, I'm going to go with, and I feel like you could dye your hair red temporarily too, and it's just not.
See, now you're overthinking. Just say the guess. We need to get
I'm going to
drinking.
do a quarter white.
Okay, so the truths are, I have owned over 12 cars in the last 5 years. That's not like I have 12 cars sitting there. That's like me trading them in or doing whatever. There was a
Yeah.
moment in time where I was just like changing cars more than my underwear. And so that was my little thing. And then the second truth is I have dyed my hair red before. It was it was like transitioning like high school to college, and I was like, oh, I'm a private school kid. I want to do something crazy, and I did that, and it didn't even take more than like a week, and I buzzed that crap off.
Okay, I'm drinking. My fault. I lost
Yeah,
that
you
one.
are drinking. So the lie is I'm a quarter white. Katie, I am full Hispanic.
I said those things.
I'm afraid to do
Technically,
ancestry.com because I'm afraid Filipino might show up in there or something. But like, other than that, right now I know I'm Hispanic.
Oh, that's
we
funny.
could do a whole episode on ancestry.com because my family thought one side thought they were all Swedish. They're all like Portuguese and not Swedish at all. And then my granddad, his dad apparently slept around a whole bunch, so it's not even his real dad.
So
So
funny.
there was some awesome family drama that we learned.
It is the funniest thing. Like now that I'm a little bit older, the aunts and uncles, they want to pass down like history stuff. And so for us, it was the same thing. We found out that like, so my last name is Espinoza, but that's not our last name at all. Like our great great grandfather was something else completely. But when the Spanish were coming over to Mexico, to kind of, I guess, bob and weave who they were going to have slaves and who was going to be like, workers or whatever. If you were Spanish, you were considered like, normal people. You didn't have to do any of that other stuff. So our great 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 grandfather was like Guajardo or something like that last name. So they asked him what his last name was, and he just blurted out Espinoza because that was a Spanish last name, so he didn't have to go to work. So I'm like, great. Now I'm like literally born from a lazy great great grandfather because he didn't want to do nothing. And I take so much pride in my last name, and I'm like, that's not even my freaking last name. Like, I'm supposed to be something else.
Oh, that's funny.
Mm.
That is funny. I love it.
So we will go with Alicia. You go next.
Okay. So, all right. First line is I was on a national TV show. The second one is I swam in the Aegean Sea naked. And then the third one is I didn't see the World Trade Center fall.
That's crazy because the first two, I'm still
What was the
thinking
first one
Alicia is
again?
this cute little angel, doesn't do anything wrong.
So the first one was I was on a national TV show.
Oh yeah. Okay.
And she didn't say which TV show. So I mean, this could have been like Naked and Afraid. Now that she's saying that she went swimming naked over there in the sea.
I'm gonna say
She was in the military. She could have been in New York when all that happened.
she could have been.
Mm.
Like, doesn't the military make you swim naked in the sea anyways? Or is that the
Hang on.
Ooh, all these questions. I love it.
Wait, what branch are you a part of, Alicia?
She's Air Force.
Air Force. Yes.
Okay, yeah, no, she's not Navy.
Oh.
It can't be the swimming one. No.
She probably doesn't even know how to swim.
Yeah. Air Force people, they're too bougie.
Well, I do know how to swim, so.
All right, I'm gonna guess it's TV show. You were not on a national TV show.
I'm gonna guess. Dang it! I was gonna do TV show too, but now I don't want it to seem like I'm copying Lee.
No, you got to do the same thing. Go, just blurt it out. Katie, you're so indecisive. I'm gonna squirt you with the squirt bottle over there at Trader Sam's.
No, I'm not
Let's
indecisive. I am weighing the options. I'm being very intentional with my decisions. I'll go with TV show.
Okay, well, both of y'all have to drink. So I was, it was when Anna was probably 6 or 7. We did a how you make brownies. We got selected by Rachel Ray to do a video on how to make brownies. And she put our video on her show, which was really cool. I've swam in the Aegean Sea, but not naked. So just take that one out. And then I was actually doing a study abroad, and I flew out September 10th, 2001. I didn't actually see footage of the World Trade Center falling until I got back home in December. So that was true. Yay, that's me.
Sorry, I took a pause right there. Alicia, you know you're on YouTube.
Yeah, probably. It was a. Did you find it already? That was quick.
I am going to put this as part of our reel. You're going to be on YouTube.
Yay! And then, okay, in the next episode, we can all share the cookies or brownies. What was it? Cookies or brownies?
I think it was brownies. Like, it was a long time ago, so I think it was brownies. I think.
We should mimic the recipe and then see how it comes out.
Yeah. I'm gonna have to go back and find the clip now, so I don't remember. I did tell y'all I have an 18-year-old now, right? Like, I did say that.
Oh man, a lot of vodka and Cokes between them.
Hey, y'all take y'all's drink, by the way. You didn't take your drink.
We did.
Okay.
That's fine. I need to finish it anyway. It's crazy because like New Year's, I'm like those people that have to go back to the gym, and I'm over here drinking, about to go run on the treadmill, like intoxicated. Katie, your turn.
I don't like bananas. I once picked up a tarantula on a whim in the desert, and I went to space camp in Huntsville, Alabama.
The tarantula, that's a truth. I already know the tarantula. That's a truth.
Yeah.
She likes creepy
I feel like
things.
I've seen you eat a banana, but then I feel like we've also talked about you not liking banana. I'm going with banana. I feel like we've talked about you not liking bananas.
I
I'm
feel
going
like
banana.
banana would be legit, but I can't see you doing space camp. But you did talk about floating in Space 220, so now I'm like, I'm gonna go with space camp. You don't look like well, I don't know because you like that weird stuff. So like astrology to me is weird. So maybe
Well,
that's that.
Astronomy?
Banana.
astronomy, not
Astronomy.
astrology.
Wait, what's astrology?
Astrology
It's
is
your
like the
zodiac.
signs.
Well, that has
Well,
to deal with
they're
weird stuff.
very similar. They're very
Yes.
similar, and yeah, I'll let you
Astrology,
decide.
astronomy, pastrami, all that stuff. We don't like. You're weird.
This is why we love you so much, Lee.
I don't
Oh,
know. It's just
looking
whatever.
at the
You haven't.
stars, reading the stars. I
Yeah,
don't know.
SpaceX, Star Wars, all that stuff. We'll just put that in one same category. I'm gonna go banana too. I'll go banana.
Both drink.
I don't think you'd lose at this game. That's the thing.
Yeah.
I never went to space camp. I always wanted to go to space camp. It has been my dream my entire freaking life to be an astronaut, but because I have epilepsy, I can't fly, I can't do any of that kind of stuff. So I never was able to go to space camp. I hate bananas. I hate bananas, but I do love plantains. So I will eat a plantain over a banana.
I've, I, well, I feel like that's two different things. So I feel like, Katie, you need a drink because a banana is not quite a plantain. As a stretch, I don't know. I got nothing.
She's like, it's got a peel. It grows from a tree. It's a banana.
I just hate banana. Like the texture of them is. Ugh.
Oh, that's
Okay,
funny.
so like, I don't know if y'all have them there or if y'all been around these restaurants, but like, you ever heard of a restaurant called like Fogo de Chao or Texas de Brazil?
Yes.
Okay, so they have like fried plantain, and you eat it when you transition from your steaks or your chicken or whatever, because apparently it cleans your palate. I didn't know that.
Fried plantain or plantain?
Okay, it's the alcohol now. Now I'm thinking of pontoon because I'm thinking of a ship, and then
I was like, wait a minute, is he trying to educate us on how to say plantain?
okay, Lee signing off. 5, 4, 3, 2. We'll see y'all later, guys.
No, we
This
love
game
you.
this
Wait,
game not only
wait.
showed our truths and lies, it shows I don't know how to pronounce things.
No, you did
Wait.
just fine. I think it's the amaretto speaking.
It
Are
is.
they is it like Maduros? Like the sweet plantains?
I didn't even know there was a difference between them. I can't even say the freaking name of the original plant. You want me to know the difference between the other ones?
That's cool. It's a palate cleanser, though. I
didn't know
don't
that,
know
yeah.
there's difference. Yeah, I don't know the difference between. What did you say, Maduros? That's a sweet plantain. I have no idea what that is.
I'm pretty sure it was sweet, but I know they added like a little bit of cinnamon or something like to it.
That's
But
cool.
apparently, what it does is between like at the Brazilian steakhouses, they bring you all these different lamb and everything else, and so apparently, but in between, I thought it was a side. I was eating it like mashed potatoes, but they were like, no, you're supposed to just take like a spoonful, and when you switch, you go from there. Because they kept having to bring me more and more of these plantain things, and they're like, why are we replacing these? And I'm like, I thought it was a side. Like, I'm sorry. So I'm over here eating plantains and steak like it's mashed potatoes and stuff. Like, it was crazy.
That's pretty cool, though. I did not know that. So, Lee, you did educate us. I love it.
Yeah, so now I'm gonna bring one when we go to Disney, and so we can eat it and then do our next drink. It'll cleanse our palate.
Okay.
I do love the sweet plantains. Those are delicious.
It's pretty cool.
All right, so now that is a preview of the game. We might do it again later, but that was pretty fun. So
That
let's
was fun.
transition into our next segment, which I believe, Katie, you have this one, correct?
Yeah. So we were talking about local things to do around us. And recently, since I just moved to upstate New York, I've been going to Canada very frequently. So I recently went to Montreal, which was pretty cool. and it was not what I expected. Like, I think I was thinking more of Quebec City instead of Old Montreal, which are two totally different areas. Montreal is a city, very much like any major city in the United States. There are a lot of old buildings in Old Montreal. And one of like the biggest culture shocks that you get is going into Quebec. So like we're right on the border of Ontario, one province of Canada, and Quebec, the other province of Canada. And it's so funny because on one side they speak English, all the road signs and everything are in English. And then as soon as you go into Quebec, everything's in French. Everything. Like even the people are speaking French. And so like right when you cross over that little borderline into that province, everybody's speaking French and that's their first language. And then they can all switch from French to English, which is great
That's
for
so
us
cool.
because like we're not bilingual. But that was probably one of the biggest like culture shocks going there and being just like an hour and a half away from something where everyone is speaking a totally different language. Like you're walking down the street and just everything is like different. I loved it, of course. Like I love visiting European countries,
Cool.
so it felt like I was in a European country without having to cross the ocean almost. So that was neat. Great food, great like shopping and little stores. The Christmas market was horrible. It was like the most pitiful Christmas market. The German markets that are like in England and Germany and France, like those are way better. This one was like tiny little booths. We did get
It looked like
some
a flea
sign.
market.
Oh,
It was like a flea market, except everything's mass produced. Like they brought it from China over to Canada. Like
Oh,
Christmas
so they were on
markets are supposed to
Temu
be,
and
yeah,
Alibaba, and then they just put it in their booths.
yeah.
oh, that's
But
sad.
we did go to this really good pub, and oh man, what was it called? It was like Wolfman and something pub. Let me look it up really quick. But that was really good. They had some awesome poutine. Pub Wolf and Workman. That's what it was called. And
You
that was
put them
really close
together
to
because you
the,
like that haunted stuff, Wolf Man.
yeah, probably. That was close to the Basilica, which the Basilica is, I don't know if you guys have heard of that church before, but it is one of the most visited churches next to the Vatican. Like
What?
So is
thousands
it
and
Catholic?
thousands of people. Oh yeah, yeah.
Okay, cool.
But
That is so cool.
they do like tours. You pay an admission fee and you can do like your own self-guided tour. There's stained glass windows, there's paintings, the woodwork inside is amazing. And then during the holiday season and certain times of the year, they do like other events and shows. So they had this one show going on that we didn't get to see because it was sold out, but they do like a light show where they do that projection mapping lighting on the church and play
That's cool.
with music.
So they literally turn the church into like a Disney type thing.
like a
That's
rave.
cool.
Like a,
That's dope, man. The Pope is like turning up Jersey Turnpiking over there in Canada.
I will say I absolutely loved like the artwork and the woodwork and everything. It was very crowded. Probably if you go during the week, it wouldn't be as crowded. Admission is, I think it was like $11 US. So not too shabby. And then if you wanted to light a candle, you did have to pay anywhere. If you wanted a short candle, it was like $2, and if you wanted a big candle, it was like $10. So you did have to pay
dang.
to.
They're like
I know.
price gouging over there. So like it's crazy. So like I grew up like hardcore Catholic. I went to Catholic private school my entire life, all the way up into high school. And so like I understand like the candle lighting and the prayer, the meaning, the symbolism for that. But like most of the churches I've been to, a lot of the basilicas like down here or any of those big churches, it's like 50 cents to light a small candle or like maybe even $1. But
Yeah.
it's not like you have to pay for it. It's just like you want to donate, so you can light this candle. We'll do the prayer.
No, no,
So
no,
they
no,
hear
no.
that it's like
They
$2 and $10. Good Jesus!
they next to each little candle lighting station. I don't know what the proper term for it is, but they had little credit card terminals so you could tap your credit card.
Oh my gosh! Literally,
Oh
they brought back like the
boy.
Roman tax paying, like pay for your sins type of thing. Oh man!
Like that was one thing that kind of I felt was a little stark contrast in the whole experience. Like if I don't know if I go into a
Yeah.
church, I don't want to go see like little credit card terminals along the way,
No.
No,
but the
definitely.
painting. Oh, I almost forgot to mention. I'll have to share the photo with you guys, but they had a huge organ in there, like the hugest organ I've ever seen in my life. And I really wish they would have like had that going because that would have been spectacular. But
That's
yeah, that was probably like the highlight. Or the food at Pub Wolf and Work. But
Now,
they like
this is a little
the
side
building.
question. Around the church, right? I'm only asking this because I've seen this in like 2 other states. Around the church, was everything around it, like businesses, everything, the architecture, the same?
Very similar. So it's in what they call Old Montreal. And so, like, there's a square, an open square that has a sculpture in it in front of the church. And then all the buildings around the church. But this isn't just around the church, it goes on for like maybe a mile or two in each direction. It's all old buildings. Some of the streets are cobblestone. So it's like very, old world feel. And then there's a shopping center that is an old building that looks like it could be the Supreme Court or something, and it's a mall now.
Oh, did I lose both of y'all? No, okay, now I'm here. I heard everything.
Oh
All right,
no,
good.
There we go. Sorry, I was muted by accident. So that was all in Quebec, right?
yeah, that was all in Quebec. We're visiting the closest town to us called Cornwall, which is in Ontario. We're visiting that later this week. And so my goal for this year is to like visit various parts of Canada. We're along the St. Lawrence River, which is also called Thousand Islands, which I had no idea that's where like Thousand Islands dressing came from. I didn't realize
Oh my
Thousand
gosh.
Islands was like an actual place. And
Yeah,
it
I had
is.
no
It's
idea.
like the St. Lawrence River is one of the biggest rivers in the country and one of the hugest like transportation rivers. And it's called Thousand Islands because there literally are 1,000 islands, like 2,000 islands on this river,
Oh my
as it goes from like
gosh.
Canada all the way down through the US. So there's some cool castles here on the US side. There's the Bolt Castle and the Singer Castle, and you have to wait until the springtime to go take the ferries to them, but you can take a ferry from the US side and go visit the castles. So I'm gonna
So
do that this year
your whole Lady Teals thing will just take off over there.
too.
My gosh. Okay, I want to go back to the first question you said at the very beginning of this segment. I want to go travel is I want to go join Katie on these excursions. That sounds
No
amazing.
kidding.
Yeah. And they do like river cruises too, which I had no idea about. So
I
like
was about to ask about that too.
in
Cool.
Europe there's like a lot of river cruises, but they do river cruises from like Canada to New York and New York up to Canada. Apparently bass competitions are huge up here, which I had no idea about either. So there's a lot to learn. I don't know anything about the area, and what I've learned so far I'm liking. So
So
that's
when
what
we
I'm
see
aiming to
Katie
do
come with a
locally.
fisherman's hat and like an Abu Garcia reel, we know that they got her hooked.
Hooked.
That's
Got her?
No, that sounds amazing. I want to come visit you.
Come in the summertime because right now it's like super cold
Not to
and
say I can't deal with the 40 or below. Like it's
Yeah.
got to be at least a crisp 65. A
I
crisp
think it's like
65.
I'm
Yeah.
pretty sure it's like 18 degrees right now. So
Yeah, please. I don't even think my freezer's that cold. Yeah, Jesus. Um,
So that's
all
what
right,
I want
so
to do locally. So I want to hear about what you guys want to do locally too.
Alicia, take it away.
Okay, so before I leave the state of California, which may be sometime next year, we'll see what the Air Force says. But before I leave, I want to go to Yosemite in February for the Fire Falls. What this is like back in the 1800s, they used to, at, I think it's called Grants Point. I have to look it back up again. Um, it was for the Horsetail Falls. For the spectacle that they would provide for these guests is to throw hot coals and ember over the fire or over the waterfall, and it became this huge to do. So it was a traditional thing that kept on up until I believe it was in the late 60s, early 70s that they finally realized, one, it's not environmentally smart to do that. And then two, it just so many guests were coming in that they were just basically destroying Yosemite, the grounds. They would leave trash and all the things. So they stopped doing that and then transitioned to February, the way that the sun will set on against the fire. Daggum, I keep saying fire, but against the waterfall is is it'll start glowing like it's on fire. So Horsetail Falls in like mid-February to late February will get, depending on one, if it has enough water for the waterfall to be a huge waterfall, and then two, as long as the weather is cooperative, of course. But with the way that the sun hits it, it looks like it's on fire. So they call it the Fire Falls. But you
Ooh.
can only see
That's
it in
cool.
February because of the positioning of where we are and how the
The
sun
sun
sets
and
and stuff.
everything.
Yeah. So I want to do that. So I'm really this month or February this year is like probably my last chance unless I have to come back to see it and fly back to California. I also want to see Mammoth, which is I'm not big on cold either, Lee, but I really want to go see Mammoth. Just because it is a huge ski resort and the snowfall that they have is so beautiful. And I like to go sledding and I like to see it and play for a little bit. But Mammoth is supposed to be this gorgeous area where we're so close to Lake Tahoe, and that's a big popular place to go to. We've done Lake Tahoe and it's beautiful and gorgeous, and I'm sure we'll go back again, but I want to go see Mammoth. That's a little bit off the beaten path. And I think more locals go to Mammoth than, it's a big tourism. It is a big tourism area, but I think more locals go to Mammoth versus a lot of people go to Lake Tahoe. So those are my two big things I want to see, but I want to hit up a few national parks before we leave too. So there's Yosemite, of course, the Kings Canyon and Sequoia National Park. I want to go to there. But I really want to go to Pinnacles, which is fairly close to me. I don't know why I haven't done it yet. I don't have an excuse, so, or at least not a good one anyway. But Pinnacles is where they started the release program for the condors, so the California condors. I want to go see a
Oh
California
yeah,
condor flying in its natural environment in Pinnacles National Park. That's what
that
I
would
wanna
be
do,
epic.
and since we talked about in our last episode the zoo having the California condors, I wanna see them not in the zoo, I wanna see them out in nature, so it's on
Did
the
y'all guys
list.
know that the zoo had animals too? I'm just letting all the viewers know. 'Cause I didn't know that. I didn't know the zoo had animals. Um, but so I'm assuming 'cause I'm not too familiar with like Californian mapping. It's kind of like North Central California is kind of where you're at.
Yes, so I'm
Okay.
more Northern California, so I'm about 40 minutes north of Sacramento, and about 30 minutes north of Sacramento, depending on traffic, I guess. So Yosemite, kind of like when we were talking about driving through Texas, you can drive 8 hours and you're still in Texas. It's kind of the same in California if you go top to bottom or bottom to top. So Yosemite is about 4 hours from me. Mammoth is about 5. Pinnacles is about 2.5. Maybe like 3 because it does get trafficy around the area. Um, and then Lake Tahoe is only about an hour and a half to 2 hours, again, depending on traffic. Oh, and I just thought of one other thing that's on my list before I move. I want to
Let's do
go see the Walt Disney World Family Museum that's outside of San
it.
Francisco.
Yes, I want to see
Ooh,
that
that'd be
too.
cool.
I
That
was
would be
I have
just
fun.
in San Francisco this year, and I did not get to see that.
I know I thought of you because I knew we were going to try to meet up and stuff. It didn't work out and I hate that. But I want to see that museum so bad before I go. It's too close for me to not do it. So again, I don't have an excuse a good excuse
Yeah,
as to why I haven't
you're
gone
like
yet.
right up the road because Disneyland is in Anaheim, correct?
Right, right.
And
And
then
that that's
That
about
museum is, where's that museum again?
it's
San
outside of San
Francisco,
Francisco.
San
Yeah.
which
Francisco.
is like
Cool.
5-6 hours difference, I think. Drive.
Yeah. So it takes from my house to get to Disneyland about 7 and some change hours. To get to Sacramento, it without traffic, it's probably 2.5 hours. But it, the way that the museum is on the outside of the city, I believe, I don't know how much traffic you have to get into to get to the museum, but if you
Yeah.
have to sit on the bridge traffic, that can be a little much for San Francisco. But
So you gotta like
Yeah.
jump on the 5 to the 380 to the whatever it is. I just wanted to say something
yeah.
like that. I always hear California saying I gotta jump on the 5 to the 10 to the whatever.
Yeah, you do. And there's all like it's the 105, the 405, the
Yeah.
five.
I keep hearing none but California say this, and like, and it's so weird because in Texas, it's 35 and that's it. Like up and down 35, you're gonna hit every major city, and that's all you gotta do.
Yeah. Most of those 5 interstates are down in LA area. I mean, we have I-5 that comes all the way up. So
Hmm.
I've been on I-5 plenty of times up here, but if you want to go to Southern California to experience all the fives,
Yeah, I'm
that's
like
where you
looking
go.
through the map, and I'm like, oh my god, they just have this obsession with 5. Um, so,
Y'all are
but
gonna kill me. I have to use the restroom like so bad, like really, really bad. I've been trying to
that
hold it.
drinking game got into it. Go
I,
ahead, you take
I
off.
cannot
I'll
hold it.
go ahead. You
Will
take
you
off. I'm gonna
please
segment
take it?
over.
Okay.
There you go.
Well,
Yeah,
I
Oh,
gotta
tell
be
us.
sure
that's
too, please.
yeah, you're good. I thought Alicia was gonna take off because I think I saw was that your partner came in or somebody
Yeah,
came in a second. I was like the look on his face was like,
I know. I think he tried to call earlier to let me know he was coming home early, but
oh, that's too
figure
funny.
out. So he
I
gets
was
a
like,
surprise guest
yeah,
experience.
it's just like I'm not gonna say this until later, but like hopefully I can zoom in on his face. I'm like, wow.
Oh, that would be, yeah, the surprise guest appearance by Mike.
Oh man, it's too funny. So, but yeah, hopefully, California is another big one for me. Like, hopefully, I can travel over there before
Yeah.
you leave or do your deployment thing because I do have family out in San Bernardino, um,
Oh, cool.
and it's just like for me, I have a lot of clients that are either sailing out of California to go
Hmm.
do a lot of the destinations out there, or going to Disneyland. Last year was really popular for Disneyland, so
That's
hopefully I
cool.
can get over there. Oh, she's back.
Yay! Um, yeah, I hope you are able to get out here because I mean, politics aside, that's not this kind of podcast or
Yeah.
whatever, but there's a lot to see and do and enjoy in California. And so if people can come for those type of experiences, again, leave politics out of it because I know there's vast differences, across the country,
Hmm.
but there's so much that California has to offer as far as seeing Disneyland. There's cruises. I mean, it's a short. I say short. It's only a 5-hour flight from here to Hawaii. You can go up and down the coast. There's so many national parks and state parks that are worth seeing. You got Lake Tahoe. It is really I could go on and on.
Yeah. So hopefully California is something I go into, and that's gonna lead me into my local area of where I want to travel this year, and it kind of piggybacks directly off of your California stuff because I want to go to Austin. I've been to Austin a number of times, just kind of driving through. Because again, like I was saying, 35 is our major freeway that can take you from DFW into Oklahoma, down to San Antonio, and even down all the way down to Corpus Christi. And so you can hit all these major cities on this one freeway. But Austin, over the last 4 or 5 years, has probably been the city that's been hit the most when it comes to getting things from like or people from California or from New York and stuff like that.
Mhm.
So what that's turned into now is Austin has literally became the comedy central of the United States.
It's so
Everybody
cool.
who does comedy, which I'm a huge comedy fan, stand up and everything like that, you can tell from just my jokes and how I'm really quick witted. Um, like it's been like the stand-up mecca. So like when I grew up listening to stand-up comedy, my dad was really big into it. So like Def Jam comedy or hearing stuff from like the Laugh Factory or those places
Oh.
in California or like New York that weren't mainstream because we didn't have YouTube back then. So my dad would always find these clips of like local bars and local stand-up things so I could watch. And then like growing up listening to Martin Lawrence and those types of things from like In Living Color, from the Martin Show to all these other things, just like it was really cool to hear that I have a city a few hours away from me that is literally getting all these major stand-up comedians. Joe Rogan moved down here.
Oh, that's
Tony
cool.
Hinchcliffe. Uh, Dave Chappelle still lives up north, but he comes down a lot to come do a lot of stand-up down here. And it's so crazy because not just the entertainment side, but even for the stand-up comedians, a lot of the gigs are higher paying down here. So it's really motivational for these up and coming stand up comics to come down here and to work, and because that's all they really want to do is stand up and they get paid for
Yeah.
it. So I really want to go down there and see all the new bars they have because Austin's been known for obviously Longhorn City.
Mhm.
Um,
Yeah.
but Sixth Street is very popular for clubbing and partying and stuff like that.
Yeah.
It's a massive staple in Austin, but now it's turned into like this comedy scene. So Austin's something I want to go to, but not just because of that. There's been a lot of people coming in, like Tesla. So you got a lot of
Oh,
industries
yeah.
coming in.
Hmm.
So I want to go see a lot of these new buildings and a lot of these new places that some of these people are putting up because we're getting a lot of vineyard wineries from California moving their stuff down to Fredericksburg. Um,
That's
so I
cool.
feel like Austin can be like a week trip if you literally just do all those other things that they have now.
Have you been to Lake Travis
So I have been to Lake
outside of?
Travis. I've been there's another, it's called Mount uh don't don't quote me, I have to look that up. It's like Mount Bonneville or Mount Bonneville or something like that. Um the water flows from the Colorado River, but it also
Mhm.
empties
Oh,
out
cool.
from Lake Travis. And so it's so crazy because like here the closest we get to the ocean is the Gulf. The Gulf is just nasty. I'm sorry. Like it's just not even good water. Like it's murky, it's everything else. But it's so weird that Austin, like Lake Travis is beautiful.
It is so beautiful. We went to
Yeah.
this little place called the Oasis on Lake
Mhm.
Travis, and I felt like I was on like looking out over a lake in Italy or something. It was beyond beautiful, and I was like, "What is this doing in Texas?"
Yeah, like it's so crazy because even the scenery, the trees, they're so green. The like the park itself that's over there is just well kept. And the way Lake Travis has worked is it's kind of like cratered down. And so you really do get to enjoy like everything around it, and it does make it that much special. Plus, I think the people understand how pretty Lake Travis is because like we have lakes here, but it's nothing
That's
like that. So
cool.
everybody
It's,
really does
yeah.
their part to make sure it stays clean and those types of things. But yeah, Lake Travis is legit.
We
I
went.
just wrote it on my
We
little
did.
list of places I want to go visit now.
Yeah,
I've never
Lake
It's
heard of
Travis
it.
is
beautiful.
legit.
We did a bunch of traveling in Texas, like not just Austin, Houston, like pretty much any major city in Texas. My husband several years ago had to do a bunch of work, and so I would go with him and we would go to all these cities. Our favorite one was Austin, and we did the whole kayaking down the Colorado River in the middle of the city. 10 out of
So
10
fun.
recommend. Walking around the city, just like you said, Lee, like this was probably 4.5, 5 years ago now. Even back then, like the comedy scene, you could tell was growing. The like the restaurants and the bars were being built up back then, and it was amazing. And then the only thing that I think is kind of like, if you're not used to certain cities, the homeless population can be a little worrisome to people who aren't used to big cities, but
It's
they
crazy
are
because
working.
our
They are
homeless
working on
have
it.
homeless. Like it's so weird. Like you know how like people think of homeless people and they have like a little dog, like they like is their
Yeah.
companion. No, our homeless people have homeless people. Like that's how it is down here. But it's so crazy because I think a lot of people really think it's because of obviously I don't want to get political
But
or like economic, but the biggest reason is for me is the outside of Austin. All the outside of Austin has gotten so expensive. It's people think it's the
yeah,
city, and it's not. It's all the outside little towns that are now developing suburb areas.
Yeah.
that's what's driving people to have those unfortunate, events and stuff like that. Because it's so crazy because Austin, you're 30 minutes away from San Marcos, which is another big city that's growing.
Yeah.
You're about an hour away from New Braunfels, which has Slitterbomb
Yeah.
and these other things, and an hour and a half away from San Antonio. You're Austin being a big city is next to three other massive cities.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Even Waco is starting to become massive, not just because of a college town. Like Waco's starting to get a lot. So that's the biggest thing is everything outside of Austin where these people were probably working or doing these things where it was inexpensive to live is now becoming just as expensive or even more expensive. And so unfortunately that's why we have that problem there.
Yeah,
DFW
but
did really
I
good
know
at fixing all that stuff.
yeah, that's what I was gonna say. I know they're working on it a lot. Like even when we were there was all these initiatives and stuff. And I do feel like it's important like to mention that kind of thing when people are
Yeah.
traveling to those
Yeah.
destinations because you might have a picture in your head of how like picturesque a city might be, and then you like go into one district of a city and then it's totally not. Like, I
Yeah.
mean, Alicia, like in Atlanta, there's certain sections that
Yes.
we would
Yes.
go like we would
Lock
not
the
Yes.
go in
doors.
without a man or something.
Yes.
So
Hey,
it's just
even in Atlanta,
like
you
we're
gotta be even more scared. You can't just go without a man. You gotta make sure you got a woman with a man because it's like, what are you? I don't even know where you are right now at this point.
Yes. Um, so it's funny that you talk about the homelessness there. So San Francisco it has the same. So people want to go visit San Francisco because there's so many things to see and do, and it's a huge tourist town. But the homelessness it is eye opening. So and if you're not careful and if you're not aware of it, there are things on the street that you could step in. There are thing that or step on that you don't I mean, you just don't know that until you're there, and so it can be very eye-opening. So you're absolutely right that for people that are going to these big cities, be sure that you're cognizant of that kind of situation just because it can get bad, and it's gotten bad. In San Francisco, it's gotten bad, so
And then
that
like
was
another
one of the
thing with Austin, what I tell a lot of my clients and even like my own family, because even my wife, she's like, why do we want to go over there? Because of that reason, even though we were from here. Um, a lot of the information that comes out on social media, whether it's TikTok or YouTube, where it has videos of these areas, I do feel like they make them look worse than what they really are. It's there. I'm not saying it's not there, but it is. Be cautious where you get that information from. So that's why I want to go because I want to be able
yeah.
to have that firsthand experience, to see the major parts, but then I can also inform other people that are traveling over the next few months, like, hey, this is what it's like. Because Austin too has massive travel seasons. Like I know March heading into the summer, they have the bats that release underneath the bridge. So
yes.
tons of people
Oh,
come see
that
the
was
bats.
Oh,
so cool. We got
Yeah.
to like
that
when we were kayaking, you could see all the bats underneath the bridge, and that was one of
oh,
the best
that's
parts.
cool.
And like both of you are saying, being informed, being cognizant, and that's like a perfect reason to use a travel advisor so that they can tell you those things ahead of time. Because when we went to San Francisco, um, several people on our team were like, hey, make sure that you don't leave anything in your car and you roll your windows down because people will just, you know, they'll
Yeah.
bust your windows open and then you won't have any windows.
Yeah.
And while we were there, we were visiting Alcatraz, and the car next to us, their windows were busted out, and the car behind us, their windows had
Gosh.
just been busted out. And we had rolled our windows down. We left our car unlocked. We, brought
Yeah.
minimal, belongings with us. So we were golden. But if nobody had on our team had told us that, we probably wouldn't have known better. So like that's just a perfect example of like why it's so important to go to these places because there's a lot of historical and cultural
Yes.
significance at these places, but like you have to be educated too.
Yes. Because you don't want to miss out on the things. You know what I mean? Like you don't
Yeah.
want to miss out on stuff. I mean, there's going to be issues anywhere you go, right? But you don't want to miss out on stuff because there's a fear or a lack of understanding or a lack of knowledge about just what to expect on those type of cities or even rural areas. But don't miss out. Like, don't let that be a reason
Yeah.
why you miss
Like
out on seeing the stuff.
and don't be afraid of going to those places. Just ask for the information ahead of time.
And then on the same time, don't get carried away with Travelocity and Kayak with beautiful pictures and beautiful things. Get the information from us or other travel agents because that's kind of what we do. A good travel agent is not only going to be looking out for certain deals and stuff. The reason that you're using us is we are very informed. We personally do these travels ourselves. We personally understand all the research that goes behind it. So we're not going to send you somewhere or maybe do something for you that we wouldn't do for our own personal families and stuff. So keep
Yeah.
that in mind. But that's a little travel agent's pitch right there. So back to the drinking
Yeah,
and
sorry.
back to
My
the fun
dog is
stuff.
like my dog is like itching her back on the carpet, so she's making all kind of fun noises over here.
I
Um,
thought I was the only one doing that. I was just like,
yeah. No, she's over here like scratching herself. Anyway, the other thing too about that, and then we can go back to the fun stuff, is that, so say I haven't been to Austin. I mean, I have, but had I not, I can still reach out to you or any of our other agents in our agency to ask, hey, what are your tips, tricks, whatever for this? Because we are so connected and so we are so friendly with each other anyways. Like, we are not that agency that has to fight each other or there's competition. We are so connected with each other. Like, I'll certainly reach out to anybody and say, hey, what do you think about this place or this itinerary or whatever, and ask that question.
yeah, because we do have agents that live like in Philadelphia, and to me,
Hmm.
I want to go visit Philadelphia. I know better not to wear my Cowboys jersey, but I want to go to Philadelphia. Um, And so I am reaching out to a few of our agents out there because, again, we're skeptical. We're not there or we're not from there. So I don't want to get into the wrong areas because it is
Oh,
as simple as taking a turn down the wrong street and then that's it.
I totally booked a trip there recently, and like the one we did Verbo, and one Verbo I got was canceled for whatever reason. Something happened to them personally, and then I switched it to a different one, and it was just a few streets over, and it had good reviews and everything, but it was it was very eye opening.
Oh
And
man.
I was like, dang, I should have done a little bit more research on that one.
And it's not even like the crazy prostitutes whatever. It's like the midget running around with a chicken chasing after him. That's the stuff you don't want to see when you're on vacation. So it's just like use us and we'll get you those informations. But other
Yeah.
than that, yeah, I think hopefully moving forward, I know on another episode we're gonna kind of get more travel agency. We're gonna kind of give y'all some more tips and tricks because travel season is going to be big in
Yes.
2024, is what I'm already
Yes.
seeing.
Yes.
And then the other big thing is we want to make sure that y'all all have all the information you need so y'all can get going because a lot of people I've known from looking at Facebook posts and everything else, their resolutions are not only saying they're going to travel. There's a lot of people that are actually going to travel. So we want to make sure that you're
Yes.
you're you're more than well prepared for these things because when you're a newbie to travel like me last year, I didn't know anything. Um, you meet people that blow you off when you want to go to dinner with them. So I don't want that same thing to happen for you. So we'll be we'll be making sure that you have those better experiences. But other than that, guys, y'all have any last
Yeah.
minute things before we get off? Any things
I was
you want
like,
to kind of pitch out?
that's your little dig right there to Katie. Like here, just let me twist that knife a little bit more. Um, no, I don't think so. I'm really excited because, like you said, 2024, it is going to be big for travel. Just being off these last couple of weeks, I've been, binge watching some Today shows and some morning show, and every one of them has talked about travel in 2024, doing more. In fact, that was the catchphrase: is do more in 2024. So, it's going to be huge, and I'm excited to see where people go. I'm excited to talk cruises. I'm excited to talk our trips and like where you're booking your clients, what's the hot things for your clients, and just I can't wait to hear all about it.
Katie?
Same. I have been watching a ton of travel shows myself and just getting myself really excited for the upcoming year. And then adding new destinations to like the lists of things that I currently sell. So just getting educated and ready to, be well informed for those people who want to travel to places like Canada.
Yes. It's gonna be
Oh,
so exciting.
Canada. Now, okay, so I don't know if this is just like my mindset, but I think Canada, I think like Rocky Bullwinkle, like I think that type of thing.
Okay,
Are there
I
are there
always,
mooses in Canada?
I mean, there are, but there are also moose in the States too. But what I think of is South Park and all the Canadians that have their heads shaved where their mouths are, and then there's this one specific episode where they're singing, "We're off to meet the Prime Minister, the wonderful
Yes,
Prime Minister of Canada."
I've seen that episode. It's hilarious. Oh, that's funny.
Man,
So yeah, that's what I was singing. I'd be curious. I need to ask some Canadians what they think of South Park. I don't actually know.
yeah, they're definitely pro-Canadian. I know that for a fact. So hang on, I gotta take a sip. I'm a little
That's
A
dehydrated.
funny.
little part, a little
Little right.
I like how I said dehydrated. Drinking makes me more dehydrated, but yeah, parched. Um, but yeah, so same thing for me. I'm excited to this is the first time ever in my life that I'm ever having a group to go travel with. So like meeting up friends in different states and different stuff. So thank you guys for that. I'm super excited to see what that's going
Yes.
to do for us this year. I'm excited to see what other things we learn. There's a lot of new attractions coming now that we're way past post COVID type things. So other things are getting back. So now I think for us over the next few weeks we're going to be studying a lot of these new updates from hotels and from cruise lines and everything else because everything's changing. Disney's getting away from a reservation system. They're bringing back dining plans. Cruises, they're getting. I know some of them are getting away from their medical check-ins on their app. So there's a lot of stuff that we're going to be having to learn. So we will definitely be busy over the next few weeks. So other than that, guys, thank you for tuning again. You can tuning in again. Sorry, that drink got me. Um, thank you for tuning in again, and then at the same time, across all platforms: Spotify, YouTube, TikTok, Facebook, Travel on the Rocks. If you give us that like, that would tremendously help us out. But definitely subscribe and hit that follow button so you can know all the new notifications. And we are going to try really hard to kind of start posting some deals for y'all. And just kind of let y'all keep y'all informed of what's coming up, and you can reach out to each one of us, and we will be more than happy to assist you with any of your travel stuff. So, again, guys, make sure that you close those bar tabs, grab that boarding pass, and we will see y'all next time, guys.
Yes.
Later.
Bye.
Bye.
Alicia, stay on. Don't close it.
Okay. Okay. I know I did that last time. I can't help it. Sorry.